Most people think selling their business is a goal. That's what everyone online tells you. Build fast, scale fast, flip fast. But is that really true? When you actually talk to founders, you always hear them say, I don't know if I sold too early. Should I have really sold my business? After several hours of research and conversation to entrepreneurs who's had exits of over 8 to 9 figures, I'm here to tell you why selling your business too early may cost you. When these founders say they've sold too early, it's not because the check wasn't big enough, or the acquirer was bad, or the acquisition was not smooth, but because they didn't understand what they were truly trading away. I know a founder who sold his B2B SaaS business at a 7x EBITDA for $18 million. Guess what? Everyone congratulated him. 6 months later, he told me, I think I just sold a goose that lays dozens of gold eggs for a bag of corn. What does he mean by this? That line really stuck with me. Because when you really zoom out, selling isn't just a business decision. It's an identity shift, a moment reset, and for most people, a massive mistake. You're not really selling your business, you're selling your money machine. Let's just get clear what actually happens when you sell your business. You're not just exiting, you're trading a timeless money machine for a one-day payout. Yes, you do have some security, but now you have to start again. Let's do simple maths. Your business does 3 million in EBITDA. You get a multiple of 7x, which is kind of an average multiple. So let's say someone offers you $21 million. That is generational wealth. If I had $21 million right now, cash, liquid, I'll be happy with that. Guess what? You're not getting $21 million. You're probably getting only 14 to 15, depending on where you live, because of taxes. So now you have to park that somewhere safe. So let's say you put that in an index fund or like a 10 years treasury bond. You're only earning around 4% a year when inflation's around something similar. So doing simple maths, that's around 600k per year that you're paying yourself. But your business was making 3 million per year, which was most likely going to grow. So you technically took a 80% pay cut and gave up the assets, the leverage, the brand, the team, the control, all for less money and no new way of making more money, technically. This is what I'm saying. You didn't just sell your business. You sold a money printer and bought a safe that spits around 50k per month. Let's be honest, 50k a month is a lot by the rate you are going, but not what you're currently doing if you kept that money machine. Then I asked another founder who sold for 3 million. It was a little D2C company. Not little, because selling your company for 3 million is a big achievement. However, guess what he told me? I was tired. I didn't know if I could sustain this. This is my security. That's basically like selling your house because you're bored of your wallpaper. Like, let's be realistic to ourselves, guys. He had no plan, no roadmap. I didn't really understand what life would be like when he exited. And guess what? That's what most people are when they sold their business. So you need to stick with me in this video. I'm going to try to help you guys. Don't just sell your business. Think about it logically, please, for time. I'm not saying you should sell it or you shouldn't sell it. All I'm saying is take your time and don't make an impulsive decision. Because maybe you can keep on to that money machine for a little bit longer. Why? Because people don't realize your second endeavor is normally even harder. So let's say there's a 1% chance of you even being successful on your first business. Imagine your second business. That 1% chance may even go to 0.5% or even 0.08%. So why take that risk when you're doing something who's clearly making money and making sense? There's this myth, especially around young founders, because I speak to quite a lot of young founders. They believe that because they had one successful exit, they're unstoppable. The next business is going to explode, and that will be a rocket ship. Not all the time, guys. Not all the time. Oh, I built this once. I'll take the cash. I'll do some research, maybe a year or two, and build something even greater with a bigger exit. No, that's not always how it works. I know you have to be delusional to be an entrepreneur, but don't be too delusional that you wasted your massive opportunity. Because this is what I've seen after doing various studies and reading various biographies of multi-billionaires. The first time you normally build your business, this is like me. You're in the mud, you're in the trenches, you're hustling. Literally, any hack you can do, you're doing just to get your first customers, to get your 100k per year, 200k per year, 1 million ARR, 10 million ARR. Then guess what? Now you have money. Now you're comfortable. So this second endeavor, what makes you think you're going to be as hungry as you were before? You're not sleeping on someone's couch. You're not in your mom's basement. You're not still living with your mom at 32 years old. You have this massive pile of cash in an index fund. Why would you be hungry? You might even be older. You might even have kids now. You might have more responsibility. So why are you even going to take a bigger risk now? You're putting 100 hours a week. Not because someone's forcing you to, because you don't want to fail. This is how it was when you're in the trenches. I know you remember this. Let me know in the comments if you remember these days. Stay with me, I'm coming. Now fast forward to a post-exit. You have 10 million. $10 million in your bank account. You've tasted comfort. You've tasted peace. There's no more pressure anymore of trying to scale this business. Guess what? Natural human behavior. You fly business class. You buy a nice Rolex. You buy a nice car. Maybe even another nice car. You buy another Rolex. You help your mom out now. Now you might even fly your friends out business class. That money is slowly and slowly and slowly getting smaller. Suddenly you're not as hungry. You're not as sharp. You're less aggressive. You're not as fast. Worse now, your standards are through the roof now. Can you live a life of luxury? You're used to surrounding yourself with A-class team members, killers, go-getters. Now you're just chilling. You might even try to take some psychedelics to find yourself. You launch your next startup. No one cares. No traffic, no momentum, no one cares. No sales. Basically like going from a Formula 1 car to now a push car. You know how to drive, but your vehicle's gone. And now you're back in the mud. Another founder I know saw his company for $25 million. Come on, that's a huge win now. We're talking about big boys money. Now he has a proven track record, so he tried to build a unicorn business. He raised money, around 2 million, 2.5 million. Guess what he's telling people? I don't know if I can do it again. There's more pressure now. I don't know if I'm hungry enough. Yep, and guess what? He's getting older now. That's a hidden tax of a successful exit. Always remember that, guys. You lose your fire, you lose your heart, you lose your will, you lose your hunger. Most importantly, you lose your machine. And then you start second guessing yourself, which is the worst thing ever, to not believe in your own intuition. Guys, you don't ever want to be in this situation. It's the worst thing ever. You feel worthless. You feel like a nobody because you're used to winning and now you're back in the trenches. Wealth management doesn't always equal wealth creation. I'll say it one more time. Wealth management does not always equal wealth creation. You think you'll sell, then just invest. You've never invested before. You don't understand the nuance of investing. You're starting afresh. Founders love the idea. They're always delusional. That's what makes them a great founder, isn't it? I'll become a capital allocator. I'll raise a VC fund. I'll become a great angel investor. Other people did it, I can do it. Peter Thiel did it, I can do it. Let's make more money. We can do it. Let's take on more debt. We can do it. Here's the problem. You're playing a complete different games with complete different rules. Founders are operators. They like building new stuff, fixing problems, creating momentum. Fast change, execution. That's what founders are. On the other hand, investors are patient. They take their time with everything. Very, very good at attention to detail. They don't rush stuff. They know the power of compound interest. Complete different to an operator or a founder. Yes, you may be like, I had patience, I had discipline to create this business, but it's different if it's only 2% per year, 7% gains per year. That's completely different to going from 800k ARR to 2.5 million ARR. That's a lot, a big difference. Do that in investing, you're a genius. Like, I'll clap my hands. You've done something great. But not most founders are like that. Not most founders are like that, remember. If you wonder how I speak to these founders, I have a community of successful entrepreneurs. If you want to apply for this, just click the description below. You may not get it because it's a very, very tight community that has to be vetted by me, which is not easy because I don't want to be surrounded by killers. Let me not digress. Another founder I read about exited for around $9 million. The founder thought he could just manage a portfolio and chill and travel and treat his kids and his wife. He was relatively young. He invested in crypto, a wine deal in Portugal, 2 SaaS business, and real estate. Guess what happened? All of them tanked. I know you're probably thinking, I'm probably not as stupid as this guy, but you never know. Why take that risk when you already have a machine printing money? Because he didn't understand how to underwrite risk. It's not easy. He didn't understand how long it takes for good investment to compound to actually give you the return you really want. And finally, he didn't know how to say no. He was always checking his portfolio and he sold. You understand you have to keep holding your portfolio. You have to, especially if you believe in it. And he was a bit too impulsive because he really wanted to make more money. So he wasn't patient enough. So what actually happens, you go from being a creator of value to be a risk manager with low probability and long time. Psychologically, that messes people's brain differently, like completely differently. But because you're a proven winner, you don't want to tell anyone. You're ashamed. You had the flow. Now you're a spreadsheet merchant. You had a mission. Now you have to make financial models. Since when were you good at accounting? When? You were never good at accounting. You were a player in the game. Now you're watching from the sideline. So when should you sell? Selling is not a bad thing. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes it's good to move on. Sometimes it's good to have this backup cash. But it should be a strategic move, like a chess piece. Know your next move before you sell your business. Here's my little input. If you're broke, sell. Makes sense. You're broke. Sell. At the end of the day, we want to make money. Buy back your time. Eliminate survival mode. If you're wealthy and you're making good money and you're paying yourself good enough for your luxurious life, do not sell. Please. Just don't sell. Unless you believe you have a better vehicle. But please stress test your vehicle because the grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes it's fake grass. Don't just move your vehicle from being a founder to an investor. A business is not just a cash flow. It's a platform that gives you distribution, identity, leverage flow, status, team, and direction. Don't throw that all away because you're tired. Please. Your tiredness can be fixed. You can take a month off. You can take 2 months off. You can step down as a CEO or as a chief operator. You can hire people. You can delegate. Remember that. Because once you sell, you cannot unsell. You don't want this business now to IPO and now you're regretting it. Trust me, it's not a big win saying that, oh, that's my business I founded but sold and now it's IPO. You want to be in that vehicle. Trust me, you will regret it. And guess what? You'll be sad. Then you will join Wellington, my company, and we'll have to host some therapy meeting with you to help you. You don't want that to happen. I'd rather you join Wellington because you just want to be around successful founders, not because you're depressed, because you sold too early. Because I can't help too much because you already sold. You can still do this. Just take some time off. You're not tired. You can still do this. In conclusion, I'm not saying don't sell. I'm saying take your time. Think about it. Speak to people. Read some books. Join Wellington, my community, which is a link in the description, and speak to other great founders or people who have already sold and ask them what are the pros and what are the cons. Ask yourself, why am I giving up? Is the grass actually greener on the other side? What's the actual yield I'm walking away from? What am I going to do with my time when I sell? Do I really want to sell? Because in the beginning, your job is to survive. Then your job is to scale. Once you scale, you've now built something valuable. Just hold it. Just hold it. Real wealth is not in exit. It's in holding great assets for as long as possible. One person said that and it stuck to me forever. Anyways, if you're a founder building something real who has an annual revenue of over 500k, join my community. We can speak about things. We can hold a community, we can hold a conference, chat to each other, and learn from each other of people who have actually done this. And guess what? You can do this so easily by just clicking the link in the description.